So I'm always curious the next thing that they're going to do with Yugioh is card design, cool things with this. This is a little interesting discussion for things that we can do with effects like Pot of Desires, the -9 or the +1. God, some of these arguments I hear out for some of these cards is bonkers to me. But let's dig on into a discussion of what if we have other cards like Pot of Desires running around the format, shall we? So, welcome to Create a Card, starring MCO40. Not really. So, I scour through multiple fan-made cards because I'm always looking to challenge the recalcos. Change a card design, see if we can inspire a new type of card, okay? I get it. It's boring. But it's brought up an interesting question I had to myself. What if Yu-Gi-Oh is going in a different direction? What if life isn't the resource at this point? What if, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what if the deck became a resource? Now, you always have to understand, players want to play 40 cards. They don't want to play more. You've got cards like Pot of Desires that exist. The banish the top 10 cards of your deck, perform this action. Well, Desires isn't the only card doing this right now. We actually have Golden Castle Strongberg running around in the format as well. Now, this brought a little interesting discussion to my mind. And we have two big cards right now that are all basically banished 10. I mean, granted, both cards, their upside is you're fueling this OTK beast. Grand Manju is this thing. Now, why are we not doing other things like this? Why do we not have other cards that are banish X from the top of your deck? I mean, okay, we have Reasoning, we have Monster Gate that mill. Alright, they have this extravagant cost. We've also got, oh man, the Toon Kingdom banishes the top 3. It doesn't do anything else, which is really weird. Because you would say, looking at Toon Kingdom, you'd be like, yeah, there's potential there to do other things. But, yeah, Desires and Golden Castle Strongberg all banish 10. Now, the reason I bring this mechanic up is because banish face down is supposed to be the, oh, that's how we got rid of it. Alright, we don't have to worry about seeing this ever again. It's knowledge that is banished. Your opponent can't even look at it, technically. Alright, like, and I mean by technically, I mean like, I guess they can necroface it all back, and then they'll know. Then you've got cards like Cyframe, Lord Omega over here that go toggle, lets you send something back. Like, yeah, okay, so Omega's like the only real interaction that I'm even going to say is going to be the best for checking those options. Okay, so once again, we have this question of, well, should we approach this? Should we do more? So on one of the creative card pages, I saw somebody make a solemn warning that said when your opponent would summon a monster or monsters, okay, banish the top 10 cards of your deck face down. Now, this, I sigh here because this was interesting to me. So, you're making a solemn effect. First up is a counter trap card that banishes 10. Now, this card is basically free. So my first question here is, why would I want to play this? How many numbers am I going to play this? First up, this is another solemn. Alright, yes, I get that the card is good. I get being able to negate a summon by snapping my fingers is powerful. Actually, it's probably one of the best things that we could do. But the thing that decks that would probably be considering playing this, you have to ask yourselves, is this going to be risky? Now, I look into Sky Striker here and I'm like, okay, so I already am crying when I Pot of Desires and I banish combo pieces. I would argue that sometimes, okay, 99% of the time, I want to start with Desires to bait my opponent's Ash Blossom. Sometimes life doesn't let you do that though, but you have to ask yourself the question at this point though is, do you value the two cards more, or do you value the rest of your toolbox that you're banishing? Now, the first thing I would look at a deck that possibly wanting to play this card is I look at stun. I'm like, all right, so stun is a very slow deck. All right, well, if I'm only playing 10 monsters and I banish all 10 monsters off of the potential of this, well, how do I close the game? Like, stun doesn't make that push. It doesn't, do that Hadouken finish the game. Like, it can't do that. Like, the way that stun wins is our first turn we put our monster on the field and we start slowing down the game. Protect the castle, if you will. Now, in the case of your opponent going first, drops from combo, does all this, you find yourself in the situation where, oh, well, I can't really do anything to this board. 100%. I absolutely agree with you. There's some boards that you just can't break, and a deck like Stun couldn't do that. Now, my problem with this card comes into the core metagame. If we've already got decks that are abusing Pot of Desires, now, why would I not want to abuse something like this? Oh, what if every deck in the format wants to look to this card, start playing it? I don't think they would. We've got Solemn Judgment, we got Solemn Warning, we got Solemn Strike. Now, my question here is, okay, so we have access to all these, okay? If they're all fully restricted, like the OCG, and we add this one in the equation, that's 12 negates. 12 of them things that you could pack into a deck and disrupt the opponent. That is a yikes from me. I think at some point you kind of cross that line in terms of, wow, I can play all of these. And then you're just like, yeah, you can. You can absolutely play all of those cards. And then you get down to the situation here, you're like, well, banish 10 from the top of my deck, so I can have Solemn Warning and Strike live here. I can have the Judgment to protect those, and then I can have this one also live. That's 4 negates. Alright, now if I'm playing Counter Fairy, this card is bonkers, alright? Like, don't even get me started on, well, actually, is it bonkers? Because you're banishing 10 conceptually, so that's 35 cards since we drew for turn. Another 10 off of that. Well, I'm probably going to be playing Pot of Extravagances to net more resources. I don't know. Playing it in... I don't know. You have to be cautious with it because that cost, that Banish 10. Now, I think that Banish 10 is a safe resource. That's technically 1/4 of your deck if you're starting at the number, 40. You're dedicating 10 cards off of your deck, 10 of your resources to be able to negate a summon. And that's where I think a card design like this in the future doesn't seem that outlandish. The ability to convert the deck into a means for you to resource and play the game doesn't see that outlandish. We've already done it with Pot of Desires. I mean, Pot of Strongbird, Golden Castle Strongbird. I mean, okay, it's an anime effect. All right, I get that. All right, at the end of the day, in terms of card design, that's just a flow over. All right, looking at it, it's like, all right, so we're already doing this anyway. Why not? Like, but Mill 10. Okay, so you've also got the big thing here of, well, Grand Manju's going to play it. Well, I don't think Grand Manju, I could see Grand Manju being semi-limited on a ban list somewhere along the way, just kind of as we rinse our hands with it. It was really cute while we had it, ladies and gentlemen. We ruined that card, but that's a discussion for another day. Like, I already am going to read my comment section and be like, did Robbie just say Grand Manju should go to 2? What? That's so bad of you. And be like, well, guys, sometimes it just be like that. So, just some little hints of discussion there for another day. But what do you think about the possibility of making a Solemn card on the possibility of you banishing from the deck? It doesn't seem that far-fetched in terms of card design. The game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Does allow for this. The deck has never really been exploited as much of a resource. And like I said, banishing face down, it's meant to be, all right, it's gone. I don't have to deal with it anymore. Like, that resource, gone. Just straight diddled. So, I don't know. This was a little interesting discussion point. I'm just kind of curious to see where the rest of the community is thinking on this. I'm genuinely curious as well. So like I said, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I always read the comments. Doesn't mean just because I don't respond, I'm not reading them. Alright guys, peace out. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.